The sapphire brooch, a legacy in Greece and steel. A black woman helps a CEO fix his broken luxury car. Then he sees the ring on her finger. He is immediately shocked. No one saw her. No one even remembered her name. But on that scorching Texas afternoon, she became the only lifeline for a man who seemed to have everything. A Porsche 911 Turbo S stopped on a forgotten stretch of Route 90. A powerful executive, Grant Weston, CEO of Western Industries, was completely helpless. Grant punched a sleek, carbon fiber steering wheel. 11:43 a.m. In 17 minutes, he was due to present the project that would define his company's future. Sweat soaked his custom-made Brioni shirt as he opened the hood, only to be met by a thick cloud of steam. "Damn it," he muttered. His expensive suit was not designed for this, and his knowledge of engines was non-existent. The man who controlled a business empire was completely helpless in front of a pile of metal. The sound of an aging engine interrupted his despair. A worn-down Chevy Silverado pickup truck stopped a few yards away. Grant watched skeptically as a woman stepped out. She wore grease-stained Carhartt jeans, a plaid shirt, and her coily hair was pulled back. Her dark skin glistened in the sun. "Need some help?" she asked, approaching with steady steps. "I have a crucial meeting in 15 minutes, he replied, his irritation clear. "My assistant should be sending help, but there's no decent signal in this damn place." The woman, Maya Jefferson, didn't seem impressed. Without asking permission, she leaned over the smoking engine. "It's the cooling system," she diagnosed with impressive confidence. "I can patch it temporarily so you can make it to Aurora City. It won't last long, but it'll give you a few hours." Grant sized her up. "Are you sure?" "I'm a mechanic," she replied dryly, holding his gaze. "I own Hope Mechanical 10 miles from here." She fetched her tools, her movements precise. "5 more minutes, and you would have blown the engine completely," she commented without looking up. "These models are powerful, but surprisingly delicate, like some people." "How do you know so much about luxury cars working in?" Grant stopped, aware of the prejudice in his unfinished question. "A forgotten small town," she finished. "I read, I study, I care about my work. Excellence is not exclusive to Dallas, Mr. Weston. How do you know who I am?" "Your picture is often in the business section of the Dallas Chronicle," she replied simply, closing the hood. "There, that should get you into town." "I owe you one," Grant said, pulling bills from his wallet. "Please accept this as my thanks." It was when she held out her hand to receive the money that Grant saw it. An antique silver ring with a small blue sapphire. A ring he knew perfectly well. The world seemed to freeze. A flash of memory. A girl with big, expressive eyes. A promise exchanged under a leafy oak tree at the Orion Children's Home. The last gift his mother had given him. "Where did you get that ring?" he asked, his voice shaking. Maya instinctively closed her fist. "It was my mother's," she replied casually, though her gaze became cautious. "Why do you ask?" 20 years earlier, that same ring had been slipped onto her small hands by a boy who promised to return. A boy who would become the man standing in front of her. Maya hardened her eyes. She put the money in her pocket and turned away. "If the car breaks down, the shop is 10 miles up. First exit after the Aurora City sign." "That ring," Grant began. "Your meeting, Mr. Weston," Maya reminded him coldly. "The investors are waiting." As the Porsche disappeared, Maya stood motionless. "He didn't recognize me," she murmured, stroking the ring. "He just didn't see me." The unraveling at Hope Mechanical. Maya worked furiously. "You're going to destroy that carburetor, Maya," observed Xavier Tate, her uncle and the only one who knew her complete story. He showed up, Uncle X, with a broken-down Porsche. Xavier froze. Grant Weston, the boy who promised to return. The man who forgot, Maya corrected. He recognized the ring, but not the girl who had kept it for 2 decades. That night, Maya opened a wooden box containing newspaper clippings of Grant Weston's rise, including his recent engagement to Elise Harrington, a fashion industry heiress. "Tomorrow, he won't even remember the ring," she whispered. She was wrong. The next morning, an inconspicuous sedan pulled up outside. Grant emerged, in casual attire. "We're open," Maya said. "I came to return this," he replied, holding out his hand. In his palm was a small carved wooden brooch, a mockingbird with outstretched wings. Maja's first sculpture. "Orion Children's Home, Section C," he said softly. "You promised you'd come back," Maya said, the words heavy with pain. "I tried, Maya," Grant replied, a dark look crossing his face. "4 years. But my father, he had other plans." Xavier emerged. "So the young prince returns. 20 years later. I understand your mistrust. Emma, Tate. I came to ask for a chance to explain. Xavier rescued me when I left the orphanage," Maya explained. "Gave me a home. Something I promised to do," Grant acknowledged. "Why now?" Maya challenged. "In 3 weeks, I'll announce my engagement and take over a company I hate." He paused. "Then I saw the ring, and something stirred. Something I buried." His phone rang. "Elise, my jailer. Our marriage is a corporate merger. And what do you expect from me? Answers, and maybe a chance to correct the biggest mistake of my life." Grant hadn't mentioned his investigation into Maja's past and the mysterious disappearance of documents related to her family's land. Maya hadn't mentioned the file hidden in her workshop. Yellowed papers detailing the fraudulent acquisition of the Jefferson family's land by Grant's father, the same land where the new Western corporate complex stood. Their destinies were intertwined by a conspiracy that destroyed a family to build an empire. The final collapse. Grant spent 3 days obsessively searching old files. He found a locked folder labeled Project Aurora in his father's study. Inside was a forged death certificate for Maja's mother. "He faked her death," he muttered, horrified, "to get the land." At the same time, Maya showed Xavier her file. "I'm going to confront him. The documents are authentic. His father's signature is on all of them." "It's dangerous," Xavier warned. "I have nothing left to lose." That night, Grant received a message: Central Square, Aurora City. 20 minutes. Come alone. Maya was waiting under a massive oak. "For 20 years, I wondered why my mother abandoned me," Maya began. "Maya, I've discovered something terrible. Your father faked my mother's death," she finished, handing him the papers. "Then he threatened her life for our land with the largest reserve of fresh water in the region." Grant paled. "How did you get these?" "My mother left them with Xavier. This is my mother, Amelia Jefferson. She didn't abandon me." The photo showed her mother wearing the sapphire ring. "Tomorrow, I'm going to make everything public at the groundbreaking ceremony. There will be hundreds of reporters." Exactly. The perfect moment to reveal that the Western Empire was built on fraud. Grant's phone rang. His father. He ignored it. "There's more," Maya continued. "I have reason to believe my mother is still alive. From a private facility called New Hope." "Don't wait until tomorrow," Grant said, his eyes meeting hers with new determination. "Let's go now to the inauguration." My father moved the event up to tonight. At the complex, Victor Weston looked aghast when he saw Maya. "What is she doing here?" "A special guest, father," Grant replied coldly. In the private office, Victor glared at Maya. "How much? What's your price for disappearing?" "My mother. I want to know where she is." Victor laughed. "She probably doesn't even remember you." "She's alive, then," Grant concluded, recording the conversation. "You've kept her prisoner for 20 years. Prisoner. I gave her a life of luxury in exchange for a piece of worthless land. It was a deal. A deal made under threat is no deal." A new voice cut in. At the door stood Xavier, accompanied by an older woman whose eyes were identical to Maja's. "Mother," Maya whispered. Amelia Jefferson advanced slowly. "Maya," she said simply, tears flowing. The reunion shattered Victor's last shred of control. "Why, father? Why destroy a family?" Grant demanded. "That land is the largest reserve of drinking water. It's worth billions, the future of this company, and that justifies destroying lives. The same way I justified adopting an orphan to replace the son I lost," Victor sneered. Grant staggered. "What? You were just a convenient replacement." Victor laughed bitterly. "He's lying," said Elise Harrington, entering the room with an old file. I did my research. This explains why I always felt there was something wrong with our merger. What have you done? Victor asked, turning pale. Your complete history of fraudulent adoptions. Xavier approached Grant. This means that you and Maya, Elise finished, you're not just childhood friends. You're half-siblings. Same mother. Documents were forged to hide the connection. Maya and Grant stared at each other, the truth reflected in their identical eyes. That's why the ring meant so much to both of you, Amelia murmured. It was our family heirloom. I gave it to Grant before Victor took him away. Police sirens sounded. This ends now, Grant announced. The following week, Victor Weston was arrested for fraud, kidnapping, and forgery. The Western Empire collapsed. Grant renounced the Western name and took his real surname, Jefferson. The land was returned to the family, and the corporate project was transformed into an environmental reserve. 6 months later, at the expanded Jefferson Mechanical Workshop, Maya adjusted an engine while Grant reviewed documents for the new Jefferson Foundation. Still strange? Maya asked. Grant smiled. Liberating. We lost 20 years, but we regained our truth, our family. He touched the mockingbird brooch he wore as a pendant. Amelia entered with lemonade. The ring, she said, noticing Maya wearing it. It always kept us connected. Sometimes empires built on injustice crumble not under the weight of guilt, but under the unshakable force of truth.